Right?
Yes.
Hello.
Chris.
As always, a fun-filled, mostly professional entree into the Tuesday edition, NFL edition of the Archer Football Podcast. I'm going to be your hostess this evening, Cleveland Kate. Next to me, one side or the other, is Sonia on the Twitter at Mom23RN. And then down there, I think, is Lisa, LJ1303 on the Twitters. Ladies, welcome. How are you doing?
We're dry. That is all we can say. Thankfully, we are dry.
So if you don't know from my name, I'm Cleveland Kate. So I am up in the Cleveland area, and we've had a little bit of rain, but not bad. Lisa's down in the path of the hurricane there in Florida. And Sonia's, you're in the ATL now?
Yep. So we got some of it. We got some. We didn't get any flooding, but we definitely got rain. But good Lord.
Rainstorm.
Is the farm okay? All your goats and ducks and chickens and horses are all accounted for?
They are. And it, like I said, I'm sure with you guys, like I said, towns are just devastated up in North Carolina.
Right.
I just feel for those people, and what they're thinking about you. We're praying for you guys. I mean, it was just, watching, especially for somebody. I visited North Carolina so many times, and the Chimney Rock area is one of Amanda and I's favorite place, and it just got wiped out. And seeing the devastation, I feel very blessed and fortunate. I'm sure, Sonia did too. It was a big hurricane. I mean, it basically, I have a rain gauge that's 7 inches. I emptied it twice here at the farm. We got clearly over 14 inches of rain here. Animals did great. We were lucky. It did shift a little bit east, which was bad for North Carolina because it shifted right up and they got all that rain and the flooding. But we were very fortunate. I was very fortunate. Everybody was safe down here. I followed Sonia after it just to make sure everything was good. But boy, I'll tell you, the pictures are hard to watch.
Super hard. Yeah. Super hard.
Yeah. And it's those acts of nature, right? That you can't do anything about it. Hopefully you've got insurance to cover it. Thoughts and prayers. It doesn't seem like enough, but that's about all we can do for now. Other than on a happier note, a shout out to Donkey's Place. 3 locations in New Jersey, Camden. I don't see Camden in the chat today. Medford and Mount Holly. Look at you. I ordered mine from goldbelly.com and ate it last week. It was amazing. It was a little pricey, but it was still cheaper than a plane ticket or the gas to drive to New Jersey and get one. And it was worth it. They were delicious. Highly recommend. So sending out love to our friends at Donkeys. This is our 4th regular season edition. We did off-season stuff.
Yeah.
So because it's our 4th week, let's talk about the 4-0 teams. There are 2 left, and the 0-4 teams. As we're setting up the sort of the run sheet or the lineup for today's show, one of the things that Sonia wanted to talk about were the surprises. And I think for all of us, maybe the biggest surprise is not that the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-0, Sonia, but it's that the Vikings are 4-0 and the Jaguars are the only winless team left at 0-4.
Literally, because I do remember in our Pick'em show, we had the Vikings last. I went on another podcast about the NFC North. We had the Vikings last. We didn't think Sam Darnold was going to be able to do anything. This was especially after JJ went out. They had everybody last year pretty much, top running backs, top wide receivers. They were still awful. Now look at them. They got it all put together. We didn't have them at all. At least I didn't.
I don't know who did. The Chiefs is obviously, we'll see what happens with Rashee Rice and his injury and how that comes back. Sue says Darnold is the biggest surprise. Lisa, is how well Darnold is playing more surprising than how poorly Trevor Lawrence is playing in Jacksonville?
I don't know, because we were sort of on the rails with Trevor last year. Remember, we were kind of talking about, where the Jags were going to do, were they going to, move on from Trevor? Have they seen enough? Because he struggled, mightily in November and December last year. And I remember conversations we had about him, and then the Chiefs go and sign him for all those months that the Jags signed him for all that money. Yeah. And we talked on the show, was like, they're obviously all in. And we had talked about the lack of quarterbacks, and that had to be kind of a deciding factor because certainly I didn't see anything last year. Darnold, I believe, and I think it's just one of these things where he just clicked into a right system.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching matters, and we always talk about it. I think that he just, he's got a great receiver with Jefferson. That Vikings offensive line has just been is solid, and that's what he needed. I think he just needed good coaching, good talent around him, and he found it with the Vikings. And honestly, today, guys, he's in the MVP chat.
He has to be, right? And
Right.
I think that factors into why the Vikings being 4-0 is so surprising to us. We spent a lot of the offseason believing J.J. McCarthy was going to be their quarterback, fresh out of Michigan. Who knows what he can do? I don't know that he showed everything he was capable of at Michigan because they had such a good run game and other things. He didn't have to do those, quarterback puts the whole team on his back to win a game at the end kind of thing. So we weren't sure what we were going to get from the rookie. And then when he got hurt and Darnold came in, I, for one, wrote him off because I've seen the Darnold movie already.
Yeah,
and I am very, very happy to be wrong. I'm very excited that a kid with that talent, I loved him out of college. I wanted him when the Browns took Baker Mayfield. Then I was glad they didn't take him because he played so poorly in Carolina. But let's look, everybody's playing poorly in Carolina, right? So him playing well now is really nice to see because, Lisa, I think I sound like a broken record. We've talked about this before. You get the right system for these quarterbacks. These guys go 1, 2, 3, 4. They go in the top 10 of the draft to really bad teams, and they're not necessarily looking for one that fits.
And listen, it's a system that is quarterback friendly. Now, I'm not saying JJ might have had success because it's the nucleus around this team. And there's a lot of talk, and I'm going to use the Dolphins as an example because without Tua, they're like, oh, the Dolphins fall apart. A good offensive team should not fall apart for one person, regardless. And so I think with the nucleus of the team, with the offensive line, the wide receivers running the ball, it's just a great system. And it's a quarterback-friendly system, and he fits perfect with it.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit. I did last year in Cleveland when Watson got hurt and Joe Flacco had to come in. I got nothing but love for Joe Flacco, but people who were like, he's the MVP, he's the second coming, he's the best quarterback ever. I'm like, he's a very good quarterback in a set offense. And the difference, I think, in Minnesota is JJ being a rookie versus Darnold's experience.
Right.
As well as he is playing in this system gives him more confidence. And that experience that he's had, that veteran leadership and everything, I think is going to make his game even better as the year goes on. Sonia, anything surprising you?
Outside of that, I don't know. Jayden Daniels has been surprisingly good. I've been super happy for him. The Washington Commanders situation, that whole thing. I mean, I'm very happy for them. And I was very surprised because while I didn't think they were going to be top of the division good, I thought that they were definitely going to be more improved than they were last year, but they are making a very good case. And Jayden Daniels is right there.
Yeah, Dana gave them more credit than I did, and we both gave them more credit than you did, that as a whole they would be better.
Right.
Lisa, you've been loving Jayden Daniels since he came out of college.
Oh, absolutely. And right now we're talking rookie of the year. He keeps this pace up. He's a lock. I mean,
easy.
He's taken the CJ Stroud road. He's getting better every game, which is, right now he's playing lights out. That's kind of scary because he's getting better. He's learning as he goes. And that's the first year. We always talk about it, that this is something that you want to see out of a rookie quarterback, to learn. And right now he's playing at a level, and I think they're using him. I think the offensive system for him is outstanding. I think they're using him to his strengths. The kid's picking it up really fast. And like I said, it to people that know Jalen, it's not a surprise. For Commanders fans, you got to be loving it because it looks like, if he can just stay on this course, you found your franchise quarterback. So you got to love it for the Commanders because you always want people to succeed. You never want people to fail. And I was really, hoping the kid would get off to a good start. but he did. And I think he's exciting to watch. It's great. When you see them coming up on the TV of who they're playing, it's going to be some great games between the Eagles and the Cowboys in division coming up. So I'm excited for the kid. I'm excited to see watch. But like I said, right now he's got Rookie of the Year locked down if he can stay healthy and keep going the way he's going.
Agreed.
Yeah. We have a question in the chat about where is it? From Stu, how long have the Commanders been bad? I love that they're doing so well. So I just pulled up their records. The last time they won 10 games, double-digit games, was in 2012. They went 10-6, placed first in the NFC East, and then lost in the wild card round of the playoffs. In 2015, they won the division again at 9-7, and I think that was really from 2015 on when we started calling it the NFC least. Because that whole division, they were winning 8-7. They were 3-13 back in 2019.
So a decade.
When Jay Gruden was there, got fired. Bill Callahan took over.
Oh my gosh.
And Ron Rivera's slowly been moving them up 7-9, 7-10, 8-1 last year. Or in 22. I mean, I think they've been building on it, but I'm not surprised at how well Daniels is playing. I'm surprised at how good the team around him has gotten, because we just weren't sure with a team that has been 500 for the last 5 or 6 years. Are they really waiting for that last piece in a quarterback, or do they need more help? And I think in Washington, they just need a quarterback.
Right.
So it'll be really fun. One of the surprises for me actually this year, though, is another rookie. I don't think he's going to compete for MVP. I think with the way that the voting and all those things go, especially in today's NFL, it's going to go to a rookie quarterback. And so, because they're in all the plays, right? They're putting up the numbers. But a rookie that I've really liked watching has been Xavier Worthy, the wide receiver in Kansas City. He's the one who set the 40-yard dash record at the combine last year. And, we were watching him and talking about him and saw him at the draft. Adorable. So excited when Kansas City took him, because in my opinion, at 165 pounds, he's not even 6 feet tall. He is very undersized. And Dana's comment was, he's going to get hit once in the secondary and broken into little tiny pieces. I said, the only thing he's got going for him right now, aside from his speed, is that he got drafted by Andy Reid. And Andy Reid knows how to use people, how to put them in to be successful. And so far, he's already got a touchdown. He's averaging 73 yards a game, 24 yards for a reception. Not bad. They're using him sparingly, but they're using him smart. Sonia, is that just a good example of Andy Reid understanding how to bring along a player with talent?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've seen him do it quite a few times. That's basically how he was successful in Philadelphia and here. I mean, you look at Patrick Mahomes. Yes, is his talent, but he brought him up to do it. So yeah, I totally agree.
I think if Rice is out for any length of time, and the tweets I was seeing today did not look good.
No, it was like, no,
I can't imagine what it's like to have a medical issue and have everyone and their brother commenting on it and speculating on it and talking about you
medical
on
experts.
Social. Yes. I read an article on WebMD, and I'm going to now tell you this is what's going on with Ricky Wright.
Right.
Xavier, his play count, his snap counts may increase, and he may see a lot more balls coming his way. So hopefully these first 4 games giving him a better feel. Sonia, stop laughing, and we'll see how he does. Kristen actually lives in the DC area. She says the Commanders can't get people to buy tickets. They're giving free parking. Listen, in Cleveland, free parking is a big deal. Parking is expensive. But I think, Kristen, if we give, by week 7, 8, if Jayden Daniels keeps playing this way and shows them,
it's going to increase. You go see that parking change. It'll be free parking.
Yeah. And Darcy says they haven't won 12 games in a season since a Super Bowl win. I have kids that are younger than the Super Bowl win, and they're like in their 30s. So
you have to be excited.
I remember that. It's been a stretch. Of course, you're gonna get no crying sympathy for me and Sonia because we haven't been yet.
Right.
Someday, and Lisa can't say anything. She's got all her people with their champagne waiting. You still got 2 teams to wait on. 2 teams that are 4-0. I don't know that Kansas City can do it with their injuries.
No.
Listen,
I don't know why the Vikings can't. Frankly, looking at their schedule and who they've already played.
But they came close. I mean, the Green Bay came back. That was pretty lucky. I mean, it was close with them. So I think I think they'll get a couple losses here and there.
But so that was our game of the week this week, and it was very difficult because I covered our game of the week, and it was not shown in my market. So I was watching it on the Fox Sports app on my phone, trying to pay attention to what was going on. And it felt a lot like each team, like the first half was all offense, and it was largely Minnesota offense. Jordan Love just could not get going. And then all of a sudden it clicked for him. The third quarter was all defense. And then that fourth quarter was Love making a comeback. And really, I think Minnesota letting up on the gas a little bit. And that's going to be something they need to keep an eye on. You were up 28-0, and then all of a sudden it was 28-22. Like just that quickly in the NFL, things can turn around. And I don't want to see people running up the scores. I don't want to see 60-0, but you can't let up.
No,
you can't let up. And that's going to be something they're going to have to, the Vikings are going to have to keep an eye on themselves to make sure they're not giving up. Lisa, has there been any surprises for you so far other than the ones that we've talked about 4 weeks in?
Player-wise, no. The kicking game, yes. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. A bunch of us were about these field goals. These suckers are 50 pluses. These guys are ripping off,
and so, with room to spare.
So what changed in the last couple years? I mean, are you doing your one job? Are you doing your one job finally?
That's what it is. They listen to you.
It just seems like it's, if these guys are getting within the 40-yard line, these coaches are just letting them try bombs.
Yeah, except for in Green Bay. I think he missed 2 or 3 on that. Was rough. That was rough. And I chimed in with the "you had one job" gif on that. But yeah, I saw like 50 yards or more isn't a big deal anymore. Did we have a 63 last week?
Yeah, we've had a couple 60s in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if we talk a lot about how the NFL is cyclical, how if you want to change things that they're doing in the NFL, you've got to change it in college and then high school and grade school. And if Dana was here, I think she would tell you how soccer has grown in this country in the last 15 years. And I think what maybe we're seeing now is these guys that played soccer when they were younger started kicking in college. And in college, they're a lot more conservative. They're not letting them try the 60-yarders. And now that they're in the NFL, if they want a job, they got to show up at practice and boot that ball. So maybe I'm going to have to dig into some of these kickers with these long numbers. I'll dig in this week. That'll be my homework for next week. Sonia, we'll talk about kickers. I want to see how many of these kids have a background in soccer. If they figured out, because let's face it, the lowest paid guy on an NFL team still makes more than the guys on a professional soccer team. It is what it is.
Here's a stat.
What is it? Bring it up.
League-wide, this season in the NFL, kickers are making 90% of their field goals for 50 yards or longer.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Huge. And that has nothing to do with the new kicking rules. All the new rules are around kickoffs and that kind of thing. Nothing has changed in how we do field goals.
Not at all.
I just think it's talent. I think it's just they're just getting, it's crazy. Because like I said, you notice it. It's like, wow, they're at the 40. When's the last time you kind of noticed stuff like that to where if they're not going for it, like Dan Campbell and Mike McDaniels, they're kicking 55, 60-yard field goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And if this keeps up, I'm going to have to rethink my strategy of waiting until the last round in my fantasy football draft to get a kicker. It might benefit me to look at kickers a little more next year.
Right.
Who's got these long ones going. There's really not, I'm just looking down the standings. There's really not, I think maybe the AFC North is the division that is the biggest hot mess.
AFC North. Got you. Okay.
AFC North. The Steelers are 3-1. Their offense is abysmal. That caught up with them this week. The Raiders are only 2-2. And then the Browns and Bengals at 1-3. Like, I understand why my team sucks and can't get its stuff together. I don't understand why the Bengals are 1-3. I thought they'd be better than that. And the Ravens at 2-2. I'm like,
I think the Ravens might be starting to put it together slowly. I think they're coming around. I think the game against Buffalo this week was very good for them.
Whew,
Much needed, I think.
They played well.
They did play very well. They did. And then the other division I looked at was the NFC East. The Commanders at 3-1, the Cowboys at 2-2, the Eagles at 2-2, the Giants at 1-3. I think we talked about the Eagles, and some of us weren't sure. Like, Jalen Hurts is still going to be good, but I just felt like that team had been riding on its reputation too long and was going to come back down to earth. And they're not good. I watched them play last weekend. It was not good.
No consistency whatsoever.
No consistency. Right. Injuries, some too, but yeah.
Yep. No so I think the only thing left to talk about today, and I'm going to spring this on the two of you, is why do we have 2 Monday Night Football games? What is this garbage? What is this garbage? How?
Why? In case one sucks, you can switch to the other channel?
Hey, then I need 2 on Thursday and 2 on Sunday night. I mean, there were more games this weekend on Peacock. I had to renew my Peacock subscription for $7.99 a month, which is still cheaper than the NFL Red Zone. I don't understand all the pay-per-view stations that we got. Amazon Prime's bad enough, but now there's more. But 2 games kicking off, 45 minutes apart from each other?
Yep.
Listen, give me one with regular people in the booth, and I'm with Kristen. Give me the Mannings on the other one. And I will watch the Mannings all day. They're good even when the game's not. I have concerns that the NFL is going to oversaturate itself. You know what I mean?
That is my concern, that they are going to oversaturate themselves and overdo it. Kind of like all these streaming services. They've oversaturated themselves and they are so overdoing it. And I think that the NFL is going to be that way really soon. I mean, yeah, we love football, but geez, we can't. I don't know.
Big Red asks a very good question. Why not play Friday night?
Because Friday night is for lights. Friday night under the lights. That's the high school kids.
I get Friday night is high school football, but you know what? I don't go to high school football unless I'm in high school or at some day when my grandsons play. My oldest is 13. I got a little bit of time. Maybe I'll go then. But I'm waiting for the NFLPA to say something about this, because when you play on Monday, now it's 4 teams that have a short week because they got to play on Sunday. Friday feels closer to Sunday, like your Thursday, Friday, like leave Saturdays alone, right? Saturdays are for the boys. Saturdays are for the NCAA. Right. Leave Saturday alone.
I don't think they will. I think it's going to stay Friday Night Lights. I think a lot of high school is, they want a lot of focus on high school and stuff like that. Saturday's college until college is out. So then
they start to get the answer to this, because it's clearly not a schedule issue. It's not like all of a sudden you're like, oh, we can't find a stadium to put these people in on Sunday.
Yeah.
They could have played on Sunday.
Isn't there going to be a game on Black Friday this year?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
There you go. There's your Friday game.
Yeah. Because they have to, it's oversaturated. It's too much. It's too much. I love being able to watch 2 or 3 different games at the same time on Sundays. Flipping channels at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and because I'm in Eastern time. What is that, noon and 3 for you Central folks? I like having all those games on. My biggest fear right now, though, is that the bye weeks start this week.
Bye weeks do start.
The Chargers, I don't remember who's on a bye this week.
I think the Lions.
I wish we were.
Lisa, who's quarterback in the Dolphins this week?
Snoop. He's going to start. Huntley's going to start, yeah. He said he saw enough out of the tape to let him have another start.
AKA, we ain't got no other option.
Do we have faith in Snoop? Do we need to tell Snoop Dogg to come visit Miami? Is he going to be doing commercials? Talk to me about Snoop. How long has he been on your roster?
2 weeks.
A whole 2 weeks?
A whole
Bye
2
weeks this week. Detroit Lions, Los Angeles Chargers, Philadelphia Eagles, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in looking at the list, I don't think anyone on any of my fantasy football teams is on a bye this week. So I did not get any Lions in the draft, even though I wanted to.
Yeah, that's right. I said we were going to talk about our fantasy league. The Archer Fantasy League is heating up.
Is it nice?
I got my first win, y'all.
Oh, finally? Have you been losing?
Half my team's on the IR.
It's
a hot mess. But Nick
Hey,
Chubb is
now.
practicing this week. Keep an eye out on the Twitter. I don't know if he will be active Sunday or not. They are easing him in. I think the fact that the Browns are 1-3 has them in no hurry to get him in. Deshaun played one of the best games of his Browns career this weekend, and it still wasn't enough. Stupid penalties, stupid mistakes. Amari Cooper with an 82-yard touchdown reception run that got called back for a penalty.
Go get
so if
Devontae
you've got
Adams.
Chubb, I drafted Chubb in one of my leagues. He's been on the PUP list, and I'm just waiting. Eventually he will play, but I don't know that it would be this week.
Go get Adams. Raiders are
Go
shopping
get
Adams.
Devontae. He not liking that.
Here, we're going to get schooled. Darcy says, the reason for no NFL games on Friday is the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961. No pro football games on Friday nights after 6 p.m. or any Saturday from the 2nd of September through the 2nd of December. I don't remember why, but now that Darcy has brought that up, I remember that being a thing. And I think they were trying to protect the college and the high school games, not just from people watching, but I'm guessing a lot of those coaches were also playing. So you might have had a lot of players, but it was the 60s. So
Yes.
Peace, love,
shout out
dope.
to Darcy. Thank you for giving us a little info.
Thank you, Professor Darcy. We love you.
Peace, love, dope.
Not peace, love, dope.
I don't know
The
what else.
60s. That's what Terrence Mann said in Field of Dreams.
He
Peace,
did,
love,
didn't he?
dope.
Peace, love, dope. Slams the door.
Peace, Love, and Little Donuts is actually a really cool store that's near me. My niece had those instead of a cake at her wedding reception last summer. All these little
that
tiny
was
donuts.
smart.
They were
That was
adorable. I think we're going to wrap this up early. It's week 4. There's just not a lot going on. Injuries are happening. Bad calls are happening. 2 teams are 4-0. 1 team is 0-4. Our philosophy has always been, let's get to week 6 before we crown a Super Bowl champion. Let's see who these teams are after 6 weeks.
Starting to form. Starting to get going.
Yeah. So we're getting longer kicks. People are getting on. They're putting them in IR faster, but they're bringing them back after 6 weeks. So this whole league's going to look completely different in another month. But we will see. We will see what this weekend brings. As always, thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, donkeys. Thank you to all the people in the chat. I should have said it earlier. If you are watching us on Facebook or Twitter, you are missing all the laughs and the fun that's going on in the chat. I put a few of the comments up on the screen, but there's some other stuff going on in there that you don't want to miss. So next time, catch us on YouTube and then hit the like button. We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for the Archer Football Podcast. We are out of here.
Peace, love, dope.
Terrence Mann, baby.
How do I have balloons?
I saw balloons.
How'd I do
You have an
that?
apple